Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Joey Galvez, one half of your host of Explain Yourself, and I want to let you guys know about a really cool book from our friend of the show, Eli Shockey. This one is called The Greylock, and it's a story where magic is a commodity. Potions are sold at corner stores. Orcs and dwarves earn a living in cubicles, not on the battlefields. But there are those who resist the house's magic's laws. Branded a criminal and forced to live as a wand for hire, there is a spell slinger they call the Greylock. Check this one out. You guys can pre-order issue 3 right now with code JAN241939, and make sure you guys are heading over to your favorite LCS and letting them know that you want Greylock number 3, and maybe pick up the first 2 issues. You could do that at the Scout web store. So make sure you guys are grabbing the Greylock number 3, JAN241939 at previewsworld.com.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All Too Real 2. My name is Mike Lee Collin II, and with me, as always, by Zoom is
Sesame and Carta.
Sesame and Carta.
Yeah.
Is that your official name now?
Yes.
Okay. Do you get mail sent to your house under the name Sesame and Carta?
I don't get any mail whatsoever. I have a deal with the post office where they don't send me mail anymore.
So even if you order something from like Amazon or something and never arrives?
No. No, they send it to the other Amazon facility, and then I gotta go pick it up from there.
Oh, okay. And when you pick it up, who do you say you are?
Sesame and Carta.
Oh, okay. Just checking. Does your driver's license say Sesame and Carta?
I relinquished my driving license, so I don't drive anymore.
Then how do you go pick up the stuff from Amazon?
I usually take a skateboard or walk.
Okay. If I were to look up your birth certificate, what would it say on there?
It would say that the name is Barack Obama and I was born in Kenya. No.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a birther.
No. I hope not.
No.
So, anyways, today on the show, we are going to cover the Marvel 2021 movie, The Eternals. Came out a little while ago in theaters, just out recently on Disney Plus, so that's why we were finally able to see it, so we can talk about it. But more importantly, I want to address something else, Matt.
Okay.
Why is the green M&M not sexy anymore?
Oh, that's simple. It's because the woke left the woke left mob, communist, fascist, liberals, Buddhists, Muslims, Russian anarchists. They took over the country, and they're taking away the boots, from the green M&M and just putting some tennis shoes on her because they don't want good, patriotic, conservative Americans to be able to masturbate to the green M&M as easily, because apparently the boots is what does it for them, I guess. And then now they don't got the boots; they just got regular shoes. So, you know,
So so
it's
so
the
is
local
Tucker
pub.
Carlson crying by his laptop at night when he can't watch his Eminem porn?
Probably, but he also has, he's got a Starbucks that he's forced to drink because he said that liberals are going to force every American to drink Starbucks every day, so he's got to have his daily Starbucks infusion.
I'm actually drinking a mocha frappuccino right now.
So there you go. You got to get your daily quota in, and
Yeah.
And I think with Tucker, I think he has 2 daily quotas just as an extra punishment for him because he's such like a historical figure for the conservative movement. So they're giving him extra punishment right there to set an example to his followers. Like, this is what's going to happen to you if you step out of line. You're going to drink 2 cups, venti cups of Starbucks every day, and you can't masturbate to the green M&M anymore. So it's like punishment galore for them.
I don't know what this world's coming to. No Aunt Jemima, no Uncle Ben, and no sexy green M&Ms.
No sexy green M&Ms. I think they did something to the brown one as well. I think, and
I mean, next thing you know, they're going to demote Captain Crunch.
Oh, you bet. It's definitely going to happen. I was just thinking about that a minute ago. Yeah, he's going to be what, like, Admiral's actually above Captain, but like, I don't know.
He's just going to be regular guy Crunch.
He's going to be Crunch, yeah.
Unlisted.
He's not going to have a hat anymore. He's just going to be like have like a scraggly beard, and he's like maybe got like a cane, and he's like homeless or poor or whatever, and he's like, "Hey kids, make sure you eat your crunch." And it's like he doesn't have like that light in his eye anymore. You can just see there's like just a lot of sadness and pain in there, and he's just like, "I used to be something. I used to be a captain." It's all because of the left. The liberals did it. You're not allowed to have ranks anymore because of liberals. Because liberals are against hierarchy, so you can't be captains. There's no more admirals. There's no more generals. There's no more sexy green M&Ms. There's no more what they said. Someone said a sexy teacher brown M&M. I'm not sure. It's like a whole backstory they came up with, I guess, in their minds. I don't understand how. Whatever. And then so it's like it seems like you thought quite a bit about this. Have you been writing like fan porn like for M&Ms? Like, that's weird, dude.
I don't know. Maybe we should go on Pornhub and see if there's some M&M porn on there. I'm joking.
Anyways, I don't even want to know. And it's like, hey, I don't want to make fun of someone for what they're into, but it's like these are usually the people that are like super into like morality and stuff like that, and they're having like a fit over like candy mascots not being as hot as they should be. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
I know. But they think that there's some kind of a pedophile conspiracy theory going on in the Democratic Party.
It's weird, man. I don't know. It might be all projection with them. I mean, I hate to go that, because that's like the simplest thing you could do is just call someone a pedophile, and then just be it. So I don't want to resort to that kind of thing. 'Cause that's what they do. But still, I just wonder. It's like, why are you guys always thinking about really bizarre stuff? Like go to a therapist or something. Work that out. Like you might have like some mental illness or something where like you just have like intrusive thoughts and you can't get rid of them. Like, it's okay. You can get help for that.
It's just like this whole thing where, I mean, I understand people are afraid of change in the world and stuff. I mean, I know I am when it comes to certain things like within my own life.
Mm-hmm.
But these people freak out like the world's going to be completely different because the green M&M is wearing tennis shoes. Like the M&Ms are going to stop tasting good or something.
It's a sign of the times. It's what it is because we all know that people get their social cues from the M&M mascots. So they're like, oh well, if they're wearing shoes now, then you're going to start seeing everyone who used to wear boots is now going to wear tennis shoes because the green M&M changed their clothes. Because like that's apparently our cultural like just like we get our take from them, you know.
Yeah,
so
it's the touchstone of everything in our world.
Yeah,
is
they do,
is what M&Ms do.
We're gonna follow them. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe pretty soon, what if they have an what if the red M&M becomes like a communist revolutionary? You know, are we gonna start seeing like?
I mean,
people just like. You know,
I'm really sad that my Aunt Frida died a few years ago.
Yeah.
She collected like all those M&M things. For some odd reason, she was just obsessed with the little M&M characters, and she used to collect like dolls and toys and get displays from stores and stuff like that. I really wonder what her thought would be on this.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if she's up in heaven right now, just looking down and being happy or sad about it.
Or she probably couldn't care either way.
I'm pretty sure.
It's like it's M&M's.
I know.
Like, but then, though, it's also the breadth reduction of the cartoon characters. They really hate that too, or video game characters. You know, so they're taking away all their fantasies. You have to respect. You have to be passionate. See, they're not compassionate people.
They were all they were all upset at the live action Cowboy Bebop because Faye Valentine wasn't as sexy or something in their minds.
Yeah, it's not just that Street Fighter game, Mortal Kombat. We got to be compassionate with them because they're not compassionate with us, but that means that they need extra compassion because that means that they don't have any compassion for themselves. So they're really really seeking like some kind of validation. So it's like you gotta understand, like, you know, they really want to pleasure themselves to Chun-Li, and you know, if the Chun-Li comes out from a new movie and she's not as sexy as the video game animation is, they're gonna have a fit over it. You know, you gotta respect that. Or, you know, some Mortal Kombat character like Sonya or whoever. I don't know. I haven't played that game in like years, but like whatever. Some female character that's supposed to like have like huge tits and also somehow being able to like fight, but while wearing like a really tight costume, which would hinder their legs and arms to be able to move freely during a street fight, whatever. And you know, you got to respect them. You gotta say, hey, no, you're gonna work through this. You're gonna find another cartoon porn or animation or video game character. You know, it's gonna be fine. You know, and who knows? Maybe Skittles, you know, to compete against M&Ms, maybe they'll start making mascots where they're just like super fucking sexy. There you go. So you problem solved. You know. Well,
sadly, Skittles and M&Ms are made by the same company, so I doubt that'll happen.
Okay. Well, then sorry. I guess you're shit out of luck then. You just gonna have to deal with it. Anyway,
I think they're made by the same company. I don't know. I could be wrong, but anyways, who cares? It doesn't matter.
Like 10 companies in the world now to own everything. Like, you know.
But you know who wouldn't care?
Who is that?
The Eternals.
Yeah, they wouldn't care about those.
No, they've been here forever. They've seen all the changes in the world and all of our, you know, changes from sexy to unsexy to sexy again. They even saw when Justin Timberlake brought sexy back. Yep. They've been here for it all.
They saw some other cool shit too, like the rise of, you know, Babylon, you know, but like nothing like, you know, just you know, JT or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Not as cool as that, you know. Yeah. But
Timberlake bringing sexy back is the, you know, highlight of, you know, mankind and our society and history. Yes, it was. You know,
the rise and fall of Athens, the French Revolution. That was interesting, sure, but it's not. You know, we're not talking Bieber here. You know, we're not talking JT. You know, like.
Yeah. Timberlake brought sexy back. You know, it was a good time, man. Good times.
I do know.
So, what were your thoughts on the movie The Eternals?
Yeah, now that we got all the other shit out of the way, we could probably just do a thing and skip ahead 10 minutes for the actual review.
Well, it's too late now, so.
Yeah. So I really like. I mean, it was a beautiful movie. I think I watched it twice within like a week, and the second time I saw it, it was it seemed like it was even more pure, I guess, in a weird way, because I wasn't expecting certain things to happen, and you know, I'm kind of glad I didn't see it in the theaters, though, to be honest, because I think when you see a movie in the theater, you kind of are expecting something specific to happen, So I'm kind of glad that I waited until it went on Disney Plus.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I really liked the movie. I think it was a little long. There were some things I think could have been shortened, and other things I actually think could have been lengthened. But overall, I think the movie was good. It had, I mean, my only issue was it did have a little bit of a pacing problem, where I think there were times where it didn't seem like enough was happening to keep my interest. But overall, I liked the movie a lot better than I thought I would, based on most of the, reaction to it when it first came out, where everybody was talking about how it was like the worst Marvel movie ever and all that shit. But yeah, overall, I did like it a lot, and I did, like you said, I think it was a beautiful movie. It was very well filmed. The cinematography and the effects and everything in it were really good. Cinematographer was Ben Davis, just giving him a shout out. Was also directed by Chloe Zhao, who I think did a bang up job here of directing. Yeah, so overall I liked it, There were issues, but it was good, I think it would have I think honestly, pacing wise and stuff like that, like I was saying, is you could have cut out maybe a half hour of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
In the editing room or something, or maybe in the writing originally or something. I don't know. There's certain scenes that I think just were superfluous, and there are certain, just certain things here and there that I don't think were necessary for the movie,
Yeah.
But overall, it was good. Lot better than, like I said, a lot better than what I thought it was going to be, based on all the reviews of everything. And then even like people I'm friends with, they said, "Did you see Eternals?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they said, "Man, that was shit. I hated it." And I'm like, "Why?" And then they couldn't explain why they didn't like it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways. Any other thoughts on it before we get into like the breakdown of the plot here?
Just well, one of the things I was thinking of is that it almost seemed like their powers are like very basic. Like it almost seemed like our human superheroes had more interesting powers than they did. I don't know if that was just me, but like to me, like laser eyes, like okay, like you know what I mean, like
yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional, like or I'm not sure, but
that's the other thing too. I mean, that's another thought I had too. Before we move on to it, is I think that this movie may have worked better as a miniseries.
Okay.
Where you could go more in depth on the characters, like maybe a Disney Plus show or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
that could have been good.
It seemed like they. I mean, like I said, it seemed like it was too long, but it also seemed like they were trying to fit too much in.
Yeah, I mean, they are supposed to return, but I don't know if that means because Kevin Feige said that Eternals 2 and 3 aren't guaranteed, but at the end of the movie, it did say the Eternals will return. So I guess that might mean in a different movie, like someone
I'm
else's
sure.
movie.
I got a feeling some of them are gonna come back.
Okay.
Obviously, not the ones that passed away in the movie, but you know.
Yeah. Oh, so spoiler alert! No.
Yeah.
No.
If you haven't seen the movie and you're listening to this podcast, stop now.
Yeah, and go and watch it or whatever.
Look in the mirror.
Yeah, look in the mirror and say, Bloody Mary. No.
Yeah, say that. Like, say Candyman 3 times. And then, wait.
Don't do that.
No. And then, and then say, I'm okay with the green M&M having tennis shoes.
Yeah, say it.
Yeah. Say that 3 times. And then go turn on Disney Plus if you have it and watch Eternals.
Yep.
Sounds
good.
That's what you got to do. Buy a bag of M&Ms before you start watching it, though. And
Yeah.
Or don't. I don't give a shit. Anyway, so
Wow.
lace up your tennis shoes or your boots. I don't give a fuck. Anyway, so speaking of laced up boots, wait, what?
What?
Do you want to take a quick break, actually, Matt, and then we'll get into the plot?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll be right back, folks.
No Outlet Live.
Hey, I'm Jay Remy, host of No Outlet Live. If you're in a podcast that explore any and everything, check us out. We stream anywhere you listen or watch podcasts, or just type No Outlet Live, one word, in your Google search bar to find the show. Live Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook. No Outlet Live, your road to boredom ends here. Do you like Tessa? Do you think this will be a date that can last?
Well, she's not very articulate.
And we are back. Back. So, in 5000 BC, 10 superpowered Eternals named Ajax, Circe, Icarus, Kingo, Sprite, Phastos, Makari, Druig, Gilgamesh, and Thena are sent by the celestial Ereshim to Earth on their starship, the Domo, to exterminate the invasive Deviants. And then, throughout time, they're here killing Deviants and stopping them from basically destroying humanity. The last of these deviants are apparently killed in 1521. And so, basically then, they're like, yep, job's done. And then the movie ends, and that was a great movie, right, Matt?
That was the whole movie.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it. Nothing happened in between those things, or,
And nothing happened after.
No, it was a successful mission. I mean, it was, you know, like when George W. Bush had like the things of mission accomplished. That was Ereshim was wearing the same thing, you know.
Yep.
You know,
he was wearing a bomber jacket and
Ereshim W. Bush
baseball cap, standing on standing on the deck of a boat, just sitting there.
A boat in space, a space boat, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly what happened.
Yep.
And then, there was no like media saying like, hey, that's not true, and he's like, fuck you, I'm Ereshim, and kills everyone. But oh god. No, that would have been cool if that did happen, but
yeah. No, a lot more happened in the movie after 1521. So the group, their opinions differ over their continued responsibilities and their relationship with the humankind. So they're here for like another 500 years. They mostly are waiting for Erisham to tell them that they can leave.
Yeah, they're just sitting here like freaking landlocked. Like, it's like
it's like, but aren't we all really just waiting for Erisham to tell us we can leave?
Yeah, this guy's kind of a prick. I mean, he goes send people on basically a suicide mission, and then somehow they managed to do it. I mean, it took them like 5,000 years to do it, but they did. And then he's like, "All right, just chill out for 500 years. I'll call you when I'm ready for you." Okay, yeah. Thanks, boss. That inspires some confidence right there. Yeah, this guy's a piece of shit. But as we'll find out later. But
it'd be like going into your job, and you're not on the schedule, and you're like, "Well, we'll call you when we need you to come back in."
Yeah.
And then 500 years go by.
500 years, you're just sitting there, you started a whole new life and everything. But the reason why I think this movie is so beautiful, though, is like they show like throughout time, like them like teaching people like basically civilization, like different eras of civilization. And like one of the guys, his name's Fastos. He's like the tech guy, and he really wants to like advance things too quickly. And like Ajax, like the leader, and she's like, "No, we can't do it." So it's like kind of pisses him off a little bit,
Yeah.
Because he has all these ideas where he's like, "Oh, this thing would be really cool," and it's like, "Yeah, but it's too soon for that." He's like, "Oh, okay. How about this? What that?" It's like, it's a plow, like it just lets you plow dirt, like.
Well, it is like, I mean, it's the whole thing, like where, like within religion, like, and like the Baha'i faith, which, we follow sort of. And the whole idea that God sends a messenger every so often, that when the world is ready for certain things, but, you couldn't really give a, steam engine to people that haven't used a plow yet.
No, you could. He could have done it. No.
Yeah. But,
So they go through like this, like various points in history, where this is happening. Like in Babylon, they're fighting the Deviants outside of Babylon, but then later on they show Cersei. She's one of the main Eternals, is like teaching them how to grow plants like in like really cool gardens, like because like apparently Babylon had like actual like towering gardens, which like people are even doing that nowadays, like for to save space. They're actually making like plants on towers. So, like they actually had that like way back then in Babylon. And and like Athens, they talked about, I think they had a thing in Greece and a few other places. India, they were one of the empires. That's where Cersei and Icarus got married officially, and in India, just like they it's really cool stuff. They kind of go through like they just sort of tell the story of like what the Eternals were doing here this entire time. They've been here for like 7,000 years.
Yeah, I mean, be pretty cool. If we could, have been there to see this, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be interesting. I just wonder why these people, I mean, I guess they do, come up in history, in the books or whatever. You got the story of Gilgamesh and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just interesting that there's no stories told that, yeah, these weird creatures came and gave us technology.
Well, there are some stories kind of like that about like the gods, like taught them certain things and things, but like not in a way that the movie actually portrayed it though, like where they're all just like chilling out with the, with the people, sprites doing like her illusions, fireworks and stuff like that, and that's the other thing. So Sprite is she never ages for some reason, and one of the characters is deaf, and so I'm pretty sure some of the people are pissed off about that. Like, oh, well, it's Arisham's an all-powerful celestial. Then why does he make a natural death? It's just to be woke. And it's like, okay, yeah, shut up. And then,
yeah, I mean, the main thing is too. It's like none of them age. It's just that Sprite, when she was created in the image of a young girl.
Oh, right. Yeah, exactly.
So, like, I mean, the other ones were created as people in their, like, 20s and 30s. So it's like,
Yeah, so it's just some weird...
Or 40s or whatever, more, yeah.
So whatever Arisham's designs was, that's just the way he wanted it that way for, fuck it. He's a celestial. Doesn't have to explain himself. But yeah, it was pretty cool to go through the history, teaching people civilization, all that cool shit. Then we go into the present. Well, all of this was kind of going throughout the whole movie. It wasn't all at once. But, like, in the present, Cersei is a professor, and she's teaching about apex predators, which are predators that don't have anything that can actually prey on them. So they're just, like, pretty much like the top of the hierarchy,
Yeah.
And then suddenly an earthquake goes on, like a really big earthquake, and there's like this huge like shield kind of statue like hovering over one of the students, and then she changes it into like dust, so it doesn't like crush the student. And then we find out later on that there's a deviant that's stalking them or whatever.
She's also in a relationship with a human named Dane Whitman.
Yeah, he's like her like assistant, or something like that, assistant professor. I'm not sure.
Or he's another professor there. Either way, whatever it is. Yeah, he works with her at the National History Museum.
Yeah, the National History Museum.
The Natural History Musician.
Yeah. You never heard of that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. He sings songs about historical events. He's got a guitar, and he just like,
yeah.
And then the Romans invaded, or whatever.
And they're all to the tune of American Pie for some reason. It's weird, yeah. But
he's a homeless guy who calls himself National History Musician and just has like a thing, for quarters or whatever.
I think that's my new life goal, man. That's what I'm going to be, is the Natural History Musician.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
I don't play any instruments, but
that's fine.
That doesn't matter.
No.
I can fake it.
Yeah.
So he works there, Dane Whitman. They are attacked by this deviant, like you said, who is named Crow.
Crow.
Yeah. Not CROW, but KRO.
Yeah,
Crow.
KRO.
Yeah. Just letting you know, it's not like Crow from Mystery Science Theater or anything either. It's also not Brandon Lee from the movie The Crow.
It's not Cameron Crowe.
Yeah.
Yeah. the deviant Cameron Crowe.
It's also not Sheryl Crow, the Counting Crows, or the Black Crows.
That would be a really weird deviant too, if it just had like their faces or like their bodies in front of like the deviant. Like that actually probably would scare people more than like an actual monster. Like, what the hell is going on?
Did you ever hear about the super group that the Black Crows, Counting Crows, and Sheryl Crow were trying to put together, but then it failed?
What was it called again? I forgot
Yeah, it was an attempted murder. Anyway, so
yeah, right. Attempted murder. Yeah.
It's not
that would have been awesome if they actually did that.
But it's a bad joke. Anyways.
They should make it a not joke. And
I know. Or they should just call it a murder.
The murder, yeah. So the Deviant, yeah, he goes around and he attacks them, shit, and they don't kill him, do they? They just kind of shoot him and stuff. And,
yeah. And then he takes off, I think.
Yeah.
You know, they have like this whole cool battle where like Sprite creates like mirror images of her and Cersei to confuse things and everything, and then Cersei turns a bus into flower petals.
Yeah.
Some really cool effects in those scenes. But Icarus shows up, helping them chase the creature away. And so they're concerned that the Deviants have returned. So the three of them travel to South Dakota, like you do, to reunite with their leader, Ajak, played by Salma Hayek. Only when they get there, they find her dead. And,
oops.
While there, Cersei finds out that she was chosen by Ajak to be her successor, granting her the ability to talk with Erisham. So, Cersei learns from Erisham what their mission, that basically she finds out that their mission was not to fight the Deviants, but to prepare Earth for the emergence. Erisham explains that for millions of years he has been planting the seeds of Celestials, which are another being, which he is also, inside planets where the energy from large populations allow the Celestials to be born. So basically, it's like a plant in the ground that instead of being watered and stuff, can grow from the fact that humans are living their lives and animals and everybody else on this planet. Basically, they create this energy that it's kind of like in the Matrix where, you know, the Matrix is powered by human energy, but in a different way. Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And basically, I mean, that's why, you know, it was so important for the technology to not advance so quickly, is because they wanted to make sure there was enough people to then, you know, generate that energy from the technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they couldn't, you know, if you had too much at once, your Celestial's not going to grow like it should.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want like
it's like overwatering your plant.
Yeah, it's like a celestial, like a chi. It's terrible. Celestial. No, it's a dumb joke. Anyway, I'm trying to find a good wordplay. Yeah. But whatever.
Well, they should have they should have celestial chia pets, and
they should your celestial pet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this particular celestial is called Tiamat because they all have names apparently already.
Yeah.
And born and I guess the idea. See, I watched it twice. I think I understood it kind of, but I guess the idea was that Celestials create their own planets themselves or something like that. So, like, you kill one planet, you build 10 planets or some shit. I don't know exactly.
It's like you have to destroy one to create more. And
and
in a way, if you're destroying the Celestial, then you're basically stopping the growth of the universe or something.
Like basically to save one Earth, you're destroying like 10 Earths, and if you're killing one Earth, which still is kind of like, well, why couldn't you just anyway, whatever. That's
Yeah.
a whole other thing. But like, it's like, well, if the Celestial's already going to be born anyway, why not just then like evacuate the entire planet onto another planet and then let that Celestial be born and just destroy the Earth, and then everyone gets to survive. But whatever. Like you apparently like Thanos and all these Celestials, they just like you have to kill people. It's like they just can't not live with it or something like.
Speaking of Thanos, the blip.
Oh yeah.
The blip basically put the plan of things on behind 5 years because it blipped out half of humanity. So then you didn't have all these people needed to create this energy for 5 years. You only had half the planet.
That's so fucked up.
So when they came back, then they started creating the energy again to raise Tiamat.
I wonder.
It sounds like a dog's name. This is my dog Tiamat.
I know it's kind of almost like a cute name. Like it's not like it's like they should have come up with a better name. But like because it's supposed to be this giant. I mean, because like these things like are like they're not as big as a planet, but they're pretty huge. Like like if one of them literally were to emerge, it would destroy the planet just from like all the disruptions it would cause, just from like stepping into being. But it's not like it's still not as big as a planet is. But they are pretty like massive. And like I think they did the math and they're like the equivalent of like 600 miles tall. I mean that's like insane. Yeah. And like their width is probably pretty large as well. And the thing is, I don't really know yet if there's really any diversity in how they all look, or if they all look the same. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but at least in the movies, I know I did a little bit of research in the comics, not a whole lot, but I did a little bit, and I guess like Tiamat is like kind of gold, which like they kind of made in the movie a little bit later on, but like his character is like totally different in the comic books and then here, like absolutely different. Like in the comic books, he already exists already, and he actually was like kind of like in this movie, Arishem is kind of like the judge of things. But like in the comics, Tiamat was kind of like the one because like I think in the comics, Arishem wanted to kind of give Earth like a second chance or whatever, and Tiamat was like, no, fuck it, let's like just destroy it. So it's just like kind of like interesting. And like he's called like the dreaming celestial because like apparently he had committed some crime in the past and that all the celestials agreed that he should be punished, and they basically like put him to sleep. Like they encased like part of his soul into some thing called the vial and all this weird shit, so like they totally went like a different route with this movie about that.
It's very, I don't know, interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things that changed from the comics to the movie, as they always do with the MCU. They always tend to be inspired by the comics but change things up a little bit, so basically, we find out that where all the other Eternals are. My favorite is what's up with Kingo. He's a Bollywood actor who is currently filming a movie called the what was it? It was like the story of Icarus.
Yeah.
So he's playing Icarus and he's dressed like him, but in a Bollywood sort of way. And he is brilliantly played by Kumail Nanjiani, who is one of my favorite people on the planet. So, yeah, if you If you haven't, I recommend watching The Big Sick, the movie that he co-wrote with his wife and starred in. It is one of the best movies of the last 10 years, in my opinion. So, anyways, and watch all of his stand-up. He's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's basically lived as a Bollywood star for the last, 100 years or more. And by being ancestors of himself.
Right.
So he would just, every so often be like, yeah, I'm so-and-so's son now, and, now I'm his grandson, now I'm his great-grandson,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. And he's got this really cool valet
Yeah.
named Karun. Oh, God, I love that guy.
Yeah, he's probably one of the best characters in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's...
interesting.
Karun's
sorry, go
played
ahead.
by Harish Patel, just so we give him credit there.
Right. Well, there's something interesting here because I want to point out what he said. Kingo says, yeah, when Cameron first met me, he thought I was a vampire and tried to put a stake in my heart. That's important right there, that line.
Yeah.
For later on.
It's like the second recent mention of vampires in the MCU.
Yep.
Because there was a mention in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, there was? I didn't remember that.
Yeah, it's just a throwaway line. At one point, they talk about how we've fought these people, and these people, like aliens and things like that, and then they say vampires.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, it's setting things up.
Yep.
For the future of the MCU. So, we've got anyways, we get all of our gang together. They pick up all the rest of the Eternals, basically.
Yep.
Or most of them. And they're hoping to delay the emergence, so the group ends up at Druig's residence in the Amazon rainforest. They are attacked by the Deviants and kill all of them except for Crow. Again, not Sheryl Crow.
No.
No.
Okay. Not no.
No. Not Cameron Crowe.
That would have been cool because then he could have talked about Almost Famous and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
have a weird conversation about that. But
And maybe explain what Vanilla Sky was all about, because I love that movie, but it's confusing as fuck. Anyway, so
he's got time. He could kill a few people and then talk, talk shop. I mean, hey, if Erisham can, wear his mission accomplished shirt, why can't, why can't Deviant, talk shop a little bit?
It's gonna be a different movie. We should cast Cameron Crowe and George W. Bush in this movie, and
Wow.
let's remake it with them in it.
Yeah.
and have the whole soundtrack done by Counting Crows, and
Yeah.
So while they're there, Crow kills Gilgamesh, who we learned earlier has been taking care of Athena, played by Angelina Jolie. Gilgamesh.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh was played by Don Lee, who is a well-known martial artist and actor. So
Cool.
yeah, he basically he had been taking care of Athena, who has been having these weird out-of-body experiences where she's basically starts to fight people. and become violent.
Against the fellow Eternals, yeah.
Basically.
Like, which is weird because she only fights them, like not anyone else. I never understood. I think I do understand why, actually, but
yeah,
they call it the Mad Weary, and it's basically like she's like saying like everybody on Centurion 6 is going to die, you know, stuff like that or whatever, like.
Which is confusing.
Yeah, because her eyes also kind of get all white and shit when it happens. Like really unnatural looking, you know, eyes.
But yeah, we have this really sad scene where Gilgamesh dies.
Yeah.
So they flee that area, and they come up with an idea that they had also, when they picked up Phastos, it was an interesting scene too. He was living with his husband and his child, and which all the people are mad at because, you know, they got to be woke and make the guy gay.
Yeah, exactly. He's black too. Oh, yeah. God.
But anyways, his kid sees Icarus, and he's like, "That's Superman."
Right.
He's like, "You're Superman. You know, I saw you on TV. You were flying around and using your laser eyes and stuff." So that proves that DC exists as a comic book or something within the Marvel universe.
Right, exactly. So it's like, and Batman as well, because they mentioned Batman too.
They do mention Batman, talking about how Kingo's valet is kind of like his Alfred. So
yeah, so it is interesting that they're sitting there, they're reading the books about these superheroes in their own universe where they actually have actual real superheroes.
Yeah,
just interesting. I mean, we see that too in DC shows too. They mentioned Spider-Man, and I think in Legends a couple times. So like,
yeah, they've done that on there, and then there's been things like comic books existed in like the Watchmen TV series, which is sort of DC, but you know, it's weird. So yeah,
yeah, and I think there was one comic book crossover where Darkseid actually got the Infinity Stones, but they didn't work for him because it was from like a different universe.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of comic books where it's been a crossover thing. So we've got basically here for the rest of the plot here, we've got Phastos. He proposes this idea of a unimind, which is a connection between all the Eternals that would give Druig enough power to put Tiamat to sleep with his mind control powers. However, Icarus reveals that Ajax told him of the emergence centuries before. And Ajax had suggested to him 6 days earlier that they try to stop the emergence. He led her to the Deviants, and not wanting to betray Erisham, let them kill her. So he's basically a bad guy now.
Yeah.
Sprite joins Icarus because Sprite's had a crush on Icarus forever. Kingo just chooses to leave.
Yeah.
As he does not wish to fight his teammates and stop Tiamat's birth. Makari, who is a speedster, locates the place of the emergence, an active volcano in the Indian Ocean, where Icarus and Sprite attempt to stop them. Druig then knocks out Sprite, and Phastos restrains Icarus, and then Crow arrives, and he is killed by Thena. So Druig is unable to put Tiamat to sleep, and so Cersei instead attempts to turn him into marble. You know, like you do.
Yeah, from gold to marble. Yeah.
Yeah. Icarus breaks free of his restraints and goes over to kill Cersei. But his love for her prevents him from doing so. Both he and Sprite then join into the Unimind with the others. And Cersei gains enough power to turn Tiamat into marble, like you do.
Yep.
Guilt-ridden, Icarus flies into the sun, much like the story of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
At Sprite's request, Cersei uses the remaining energy from the Unimind to turn Sprite into a human, so then she could grow up and experience, life not as a permanent childlike creature,
Right. Right, yeah, exactly.
So then we've got Thena, Druig, and Makari depart on the Domo, which is the ship from the beginning, to find Eternals on other planets. So basically, we found out that the Eternals were not born on Olympus like they thought they were. They were created for the purpose, and they're basically clones and robots.
Really, realistic synthetic beings.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that in itself is
Kind
okay.
of weird, but
Because, I'm saying, these people definitely have sex.
Yeah.
Not just with each other, but with, human beings. How would that not ever be noticeable?
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
they've got to be basically organic robots, if that makes sense.
It has to be something like that. So Erisham created or made them, and he also made the Deviants too, that's a whole other thing. The Deviants were his failed experiment, I guess, or some bullshit. Which that still seems kind of weird to me. Where it's well, then you're not really the flawless designer that you portray yourself as.
Well, yeah. And my thing too is if you were a flawless designer, why did you create these people with emotions and shit too?
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the other thing. So maybe I'm just throwing this out there. I'm just maybe it was not quite mission accomplished. Maybe he's got to put down the jacket and kind of let it hang there for a little bit before he can put it back on. But maybe I'm just spitballing here. But maybe this was his way of just as he wanted the Eternals to teach civilization to the humans and stuff like that. Maybe his hope was that the Eternals at some point would evolve to become almost as powerful as the Celestials would be. So that's their stage of evolution. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. It could be anything. I mean, it's hard to say what his end goal was. So anyways, back to the plot here. We've got They depart on the Domo, like I said. That's Thena, Druig, and Makari, and they basically are trying to find Eternals on other planets and warn them of the emergences, while Cersei, Phastos, and Kingo remain on Earth. Dane then professes his love for Cersei. Yeah, let's not forget about Dane. He hadn't been in the movie for ages, but
yeah, he was in it from the beginning. And
yeah.
Then
it was yep, we forgot about this dude. But yeah. And earlier in the thing, Cersei had told him, on a phone call to maybe he should try to mend things with his uncle. So then Dane professes his love for Cersei and is about to reveal a secret about his family history when Cersei, Phastos, and Kingo are dragged into space by Arishem. Displeased with their treason, Arishem says he will spare humanity if the Eternal's memories show that humans are worthy of living. Vowing to return for judgment, he takes the trio with him into a singularity. Whatever that means.
It was like kind of portal thing, like you know, like not like a Doctor Strange thing, but just like maybe that's how they travel. You know, I don't know, like
kind of like a quantum realm sort of thing, almost. But
well, that's what I wonder, because we kind of like, I mean, like, how would you not like see just like a bunch of like floating huge bodies in space?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? like from telescopes, like, oh, that's just Arishem. He's just chilling out with his mission accomplished jacket. He likes to wear that at nights, you know, and like it's just, you know,
it keeps him warm because it's kind of cold in space.
Yeah,
and,
cold in space. You know, and he's got like his boat that he just rides in, you know, and you know, it's like people would see that though. From planets, right? So they got to live somewhere outside of space, you know, in time. So, you know, maybe that's why they're so old as well. Maybe they just exist outside of. But that makes sense. Oh, no, because now we're getting into some weird shit because the Quantum Mania movie's coming out soon.
Yeah.
So that might lead into that whole aspect too of like maybe Celestials part-time live in the quantum realm, and then we also saw Kang's city, you know, what looked like Kang's the Conqueror city inside the quantum realm. He's on the whole multiverse thing going on. So maybe there's lots of shit just brewing, you know. Well, that's not shit brewing. Doesn't sound good, but like, because you don't want to brew shit. But
do you think like after this is all figured out, Arishem is just going to retire and become a painter like George W. Bush?
Yeah, I think so. He's well, this has kind of like been his project, you know, to begin with. This is his big art project, you know.
Yeah.
He's creating these Celestials like all over the universe and letting them destroy.
So he's kind of artistic like George W. Bush.
A little bit. But
except for George W. Bush paints portraits and this guy creates beings.
He creates beings that destroy planets. Yeah, so it's similar.
It's the same thing, right?
Just George W. Bush decimated Iraq. You know, Arishem W. Bush decimates the planet Earth. So like, there's definitely a parallel going on. But you know, and then, in Iraq was what was Mesopotamia, and then the Eternals were there in Mesopotamia to help them advance. So it all ties together, really.
Well, yeah.
But
so basically, in the end, we realize that George W. Bush is a Celestial.
He is a Celestial. He is, and someone, I think it was Eric Voss, or it may have been Ryan Airy from Screen Crush. I don't remember which one, but they mentioned that for like a split second, like a freeze frame, it almost looks like there's like chipped armor on Arishem's body, like so, which implies, you know, maybe, you know, the Celestials aren't as peaceful as they claim, like they're just creating things that maybe they themselves have been engaging in some kind of space warfare that no one knows about.
So there's like a rip in his bomber jacket. Yeah.
So yes, there was a tear, and so he got hung up on a bar stool. Is what happened. He was at Fuddruckers. Arishem was at Fuddruckers. Arishem was at like a space version of Fuddruckers, and he got up really quick, and the jacket was like stuck to the chair, and it kind of teared it a little bit. And but he kept it that way. Yeah. But
so anyways, back to the movie here.
Yeah.
So like I said, Arishem said he'll spare humanity if the Eternal's memories show that humans are worthy of living. Vowing to return for judgment, he takes the trio with him into a singularity. So then we have a mid-credit scene. Thena, Makari, and Drug meet the eternal Eros, played by Harry Styles, which I think is actually perfect casting.
Yeah.
Because if you look at him in the comics, he looks like Harry Styles. Anyway, so
yeah.
who is Thanos' brother. And he has an assistant named Pip the Troll, which was the worst CGI in the movie. I think it was a little uncanny. Yeah, he's voiced by Patton Oswalt. So we meet him. So then that's setting up, I think, something for the future where we're gonna have more of Eros and something in the future.
Yeah.
Then we have a post-credit scene as well. And Dane opens up a case containing the Ebony Blade. Which is and then an unseen person off screen questions whether he is ready for it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And the voice we hear is Mahershala Ali, who is going to be Blade, aka the vampire hunter, who's half vampire. So, yeah.
Yep.
So that's why, the vampire thing is kind of important. But basically, Dane Whitman in the comics, so I think they're setting up something for him for either a movie or a TV show in the future.
Mm-hmm.
In the comics, he is a character known as the Black Knight, which is a name that has been passed on from generation to generation in his family. And the latest one before him was his uncle. Mm. So that's why we had that scene where she says you might want to, make amends with your uncle. So that was kind of important. But yeah, that's basically what we got here with this movie.
I mean, yeah, that's the movie. And also too, when they showed the creation of the Eternals, like some of them actually did look a little bit like Thanos.
Yeah.
Like and so I wonder if that was like intentional, if that was like a quote, like lesser model or whatever, because Thanos, obviously looks a lot different than Eros, but he's also like way, way bigger too. Like, and like strong, because like almost nothing could like the shield really couldn't do much against them. Thor's hammer couldn't do a whole lot against them. I mean, a lot of these objects that were like supposed to be like almost like infinite power really couldn't do much against them, and so I wonder about that. I have heard that he was part deviant too. I don't know if that's true, if that's just like some fan theories or not, but that's the other thing too. So it reminded me really quick. So like the whole mythology, for one thing, this mythology is from the perspective of the Celestials, so it's their narrative, right?
Yeah.
And then, so when anyone calls someone else a deviant, that kind of makes me wonder about something like, you're calling them a deviant. Well, do they call themselves deviants? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and
yeah, I don't know. That'd be like, it's like deplorable. You know what I mean?
Right. So it's like, I wonder, because in the beginning scroll, it says that the deviants came from like deep space, like, so like they had already existed, but then Erisham says that he created the deviants, so it's like, well, which one's true, was, because I'm starting to wonder, if he's got the chink in his armor and stuff like that, I'm starting to wonder, were deviants like their own sort of race, and there's sort of like a war that went on, and the Celestials kind of won or whatever, and who knows? But
I guess we'll find out when we encounter the Eternals again in the future. Where do you think we will see them again?
see, I don't know. I mean, Kevin Feige apparently isn't like going to make a second one. He's not thinking about it, so they have to return because they said they would. So they're going to have to be. I'm thinking maybe Guardians of the Galaxy 3. That might be a good one.
Yeah.
Because they're on the Domo and stuff, and traveling through space. So that would be a good. Especially Eros, I think he would be a good character for that movie just because of the comedy effect.
Yeah.
Because Pip is kind of like. He kind of reminds me of Rocco, not Rocket.
Yeah.
Bit. I mean, he's not as smart as Rocket, but he kind of has that vibe.
Yeah.
So I could see them on like the ship. That would be kind of cool. Maybe in Thor. What's it called?
Love and Thunder. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or could possibly in some future TV series or something even. There is also, I also think there definitely, I got a feeling that we might see the Black Knight, Dane Whitman, show up in Blade. If we had that, conversation with him for that to make sense.
Yeah.
Where we heard Mahershala, I can't say that for some reason. Mahershala Ali's,
right.
Voice cameo in that. Yeah.
Because he's sort of like the true, wielder of the blade. But that's the thing that I don't get, though, about that. So, like, that blade is, like, for hunting vampires, okay? But, like, Dane was, like, opening that right after Cersei was dead. He was, like, basically, like, he's going to go kill Ereshkigal with a sword.
Yeah.
Like, like, what? Like, is the blade that strong? Like,
no, the thing is, Ebony Blade is the Black Knight's blade.
Okay.
So,
I know, but what I mean is, like, this happened right after Ereshkigal took Cersei. So I took that to mean, like, he's going to go save Cersei with a sword, like, to kill a Celestial. Like, really?
It could be. And we don't know when this took place, though, either. It takes place in the after credits, but it doesn't mean that it happened directly after that scene.
Oh, okay.
It could have been months or even years later.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Or days or whatever, to figure out where he was when that happened, Could be that he's, somehow Blade found his blade and contacted him and is like, dude, here's your blade, man. I'm Blade, here's your blade. We're going to read the Toledo Blade. And,
And then we're going to talk about Blade from Community, the episode.
Yes.
Where our Britta is obsessed with her ex-boyfriend that works at the carnival.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do.
Yep.
Played by someone we will not mention.
Wait, why is that?
Oh, I asked him to be on our podcast, and he basically told me off.
Oh, that guy. Yes. Right.
So
I forgot his name. Whatever.
I can't even think of his name off the top of my head, and I don't want to.
Okay.
If you happen to be listening, I'd still like to have you on the show and have you defend yourself.
Well.
Oh, Jesus. Mary and Joseph. So any other thoughts here, Matt, on things before we wrap things up?
No. I think we've said it all.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I really hope that we see more of the Eternals somewhere, especially Kingo. But
yeah.
And Cersei, which is interesting because Gemma Chan, who played Cersei, was also in Captain Marvel as a different character.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she's like the first person to be cast in 2 major roles in the MCU.
Okay.
Yeah, she was also in trying to remember the name of her character. I'm looking it up here. She was Minerva, which was a supporting role in that movie. Was one of the Kree. Yeah, so.
Oh really?
Yeah, she was blue skinned in that.
Oh wow.
But yeah, she's in both the movies and looks different in both of them and is a good actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Anyways, before we wrap things up, folks, make sure you check out all2real2.com for all of our information about our show and links to, our different outlets. You can follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook. You can follow me around town if you want to. It's kind of creepy, but that'd be weird. Yeah. Yep. I mean, if you're really obsessed, go ahead. I haven't had a stalker in a few years, so if you want to follow Matt around town, I mean Sesame and Carta, you can.
Yeah,
if you'd like. Yeah. But be safe, people. Get vaccinated. Wear a mask. Wear a condom at all times.
Sure.
Yeah, protect yourself with an ebony blade. And until next time, folks. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All Too Real 2 podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.